I got a job making cheese.
Okay.
So
well, you made everything.
Yeah, my fermentation background is strong. I'm definitely the guy that you want on your team if the apocalypse comes, because I can make bread, I can make beer, wine, cheese. We'll be set. We'll be set.
I'm very satisfied too.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, fat and happy.
Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, yo? This is C-Certified Brewhead. Welcome to episode 111 of Beer Nuggets, the podcast. And mate, today we are in gorgeous Fort Collins, Colorado at Odell Brewing. Kevin Bosley, our brewer. What a legend, mate. Thank you for hanging out.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Very much appreciated. What a cool facility. It's huge.
Yeah, it's grown and grown and grown. This particular building that we're in now, this expansion anyway, this came about in about 2013.
Okay.
We did this expansion. We added a new brew house, added all this beautiful patio space out here.
Very cool.
This property has actually been expanded 5 or 6 times at this point. When we started here, we moved to this facility in 1994.
Okay.
And it was tiny at that point. It was a very, very small building, and it has expanded just exponentially since then in every direction.
Right.
Along with our sales, along with our production, you got to have more room. So
that's it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. Yeah, definitely. We took a bit of a tour before, and the Wicked, there's a barrel program which we'll get to. Super cool. The size is it's crazy. I haven't seen that many large breweries like that on this scale. Super sick to see it all in operation. Like they're bottling now, which is cool.
Yeah,
it's fun to see.
It's rolling pretty much 24 hours a day here.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we do production schedule around here. Both brewing, cellaring, packaging, all of that is about 24 hours a day, typically 4 or 5 days a week. We, for the most part, will have weekends off in production, which is nice.
Probably necessary.
It's a real benefit. But 24 hours a day while we're running, just for efficiency's sake.
Right. No, that's fantastic. I mean, I guess that shows where you're at. If anything's running 24 hours a day. Yeah. And you've still got that room to grow because it's still 2 more full days. 2 more full days. I don't necessarily want to work those days, but if the need is there, I'll do it. It's a team player right there. God damn it, Kevin. So we're going to, it is very early in the morning, so we're going to take it nice and slow.
We will.
Which one should we start with?
Let's start with 90 Shilling. That's the flagship.
Perfect.
That's
should we go the can or the bottle?
Let's go with the can.
Go with the can one?
Yeah,
no.
let's do it.
So you got both packaging options, which is very cool.
Yes, and we do them in 16-ounce cans as well. We do tall boys for some of our brews. Not all of them, but 90 is one of those that we do.
Nice. What style is this?
So this sort of hits midway between like a Scottish ale and a pale ale.
Okay.
We really just consider it an amber ale.
Okay.
We have won some awards with this beer in some different categories before. We won gold recently in German alt beer, of all the strange categories to put this in. But realistically, it fits very, very neatly into that category.
Okay.
Nice robust amber. It's got some good complexity to it. You got that nice kind of biscuity, caramely kind of malt character to it. Mm-hmm. Not a tremendous amount of hops in there, but there's definitely some nice kind of bitter balance to it. Going to balance that sweetness out of the malt. This is really our flagship. This is we like to call it the beer that keeps the lights on around here. This one makes up about 30% of our sales.
Right.
So about a third of what we brew is 90 Shilling.
Wow, that's pretty serious. Wow.
Cheers. Thanks again for coming to see us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us. Nice. Solid.
Yeah, nice.
That's even more
smooth and rich.
Yeah, even more. I thought it would be a little lighter than that even.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that, when you think of a Scottish ale, you think of something very, very
bourbon-y,
sweet.
that we heavy type of
Yep,
things.
Exactly. So it's got some of those aspects to it. It's got that nice sweet malt character, but it's not overbearingly sweet. 5.4% alcohol. You can crush a few of these.
5.4?
Yeah.
Get them in. We'll do the photograph as I warned you before. There we go. I want to see finger guns in every photo.
Everyone?
Everywhere.
I can do it.
My man. So tell us about your brewing history, bro. How did you get into beer?
So it was a little determination, a little pinch of luck. There's a lot of ingredients that went into there. Yeah. So my background is largely in wine. I worked for about 10 years in the wine industry in various capacities. Worked in retail a lot, worked in wholesale for a little while, worked in production at a winery in the Napa Valley for a little while.
Sick.
That was where the production bug really kind of bit me. I got in there and started seeing, beginning to end. You start with raw materials and you end with wine. It was just so cool, man. It blew me away.
Really is.
That was a temporary position through the harvest that year that I did that. And when I moved back to Fort Collins, I got a job making cheese.
Okay.
So
you made everything.
Yeah, my fermentation background is strong. I'm definitely the guy that you want on your team if the apocalypse comes, because I can make bread, I can make beer, wine, cheese. We'll be set. We'll be set.
Very satisfied too.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, fat and happy. So I made wine for a while. I made cheese for a while. Moved away to Boston with my then girlfriend, now wife.
Nice.
While I was in Boston, I didn't really do anything in the way of production. I did some retail work in the liquor industry there. I worked at an Apple store for a while.
So did we.
Nice, yeah. But we had the opportunity to move back to Fort Collins, my wife and I. She had a job at the university where she did her master's and had worked for a while. And when we were coming back, I sort of said, if I had my choice, I'd work in a brewery in Fort Collins. Ideally, I would work at Odell. If I had my dream, I would work in production at Odell.
Right.
And I'm a brewer here now, so I can't complain too much, right? So I started out working like 2 days a week in the tap room here, pouring pints. Worked a little while there, about 9 months. We posted a job for a cellar position here. I applied for that thinking that I wouldn't get it, but they'd know I was interested. Mm-hmm. Interviewed for the cellar position. They actually gave me a brew house and cellar support job, which would be kind of like the go-between for the two, staging hops, things like that.
Gotcha.
From my day one, they trained me as a brewer, and I've never been anything else.
Right.
So, yeah, man, like I said, a real pinch of luck in there and some determination, and I ended up in a really nice spot here.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
How long have you been brewing then now?
So I've been brewing for a little over 4 years here.
Nice.
I've been with the company for a little over 5.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what it all lived up to the...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, I get to come here and make this all day. It's not.
a good
I
time,
can't complain
right?
too much about that.
Never meet too many unhappy people in beer.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the common thread.
Yeah.
You can make noise, it's fine. Okay, sick. So then, can you speak to the history of the brewery itself?
Yeah, so...
For those who don't know.
Odell Brewing Company was founded in 1989. Doug Odell, his wife Wynn, and his sister Corky founded the company originally.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, definitely. Right up the street from here, there's a little building. You guys might see it on your way out. It's a pottery studio now called Smokestack Pottery.
Okay.
But it was an old, grain elevator type building.
Right.
So they were brewing in there. Doug was doing the brewing and the sales. Everyone was working in the tap room. It was really, really small, draft-only production for a long time.
Right.
From 89 to 94, they were in that building.
Okay.
1994, they moved to this location. Not to this building, obviously. Like I said, it was built in 2013. But moved to this location, which is just down the road. Purchased a bottling line in 1996. Started packaging beers. So from 89 to 96, Odell was draft only.
Right.
And it was pretty much just the real local area at that point.
Like
production
licensees were all local.
Yep.
And there was a tap room?
There was a small tap room, yes.
Okay.
In 96, started bottling, and it's really just been up from there, Right. I mean, we've added several states. We're in 18. Oh, I'm a little behind on that. 18 states now. And, we just keep producing a little more every year and chipping away. It was well before my time. But the model implemented by the Odells here was never meant to be fast growth. They never wanted to be coast to coast. They wanted to keep it local, keep it special. The closer we keep it to home, the tighter leash we can keep on it.
Right.
We don't pasteurize any of our beers. So the fact that they need to be kept refrigerated means that the closer we can keep them to home, the more handle we have on how those beers are treated.
Right.
We definitely have expanded a little further from home these days. We definitely are not coast to coast, and I don't think there's really any intention of being coast to coast at any point.
Not quite yet.
Don't quote me on that, but
hey, you never know.
You never know.
But you guys did grow pretty big. I think we were looking it up before. Maybe you can confirm it was. I think you guys are the 22nd largest.
22nd.
In the States. Look at that. Good research. That's crazy, though.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
big.
that's for 18 states is nothing to scoff at. That's
right.
It's phenomenal.
And people even live in some of those states.
Really?
Yeah. Right. Why would you? A lot of the states that we distribute in are very small. You know, if you look at Wyoming, there's not that many people that live in Wyoming. So when I think it was 2013, part of the reason that we built this great new facility and this new large brew house was that we were expanding into Texas. We were in, I want to say, a dozen or 13 states before Texas, and we're distributing to about 30 million people. Right. When we added Texas, that added like 27 million people to that. So that effectively doubled our distribution audience at that point. Right. So yeah, that required a big push from us. So we moved at that point. Before that, we were brewing on a 50-barrel system. Our system upstairs now is a 135-barrel system. Right. And it's also more automated than what we were doing before. So we are able to produce now more beer using less raw materials in less time, more efficiently than we were able to in the past. Right. It's great. So yeah, it's really, really a cool. It's a good time for us. You know, there's this feeling of sort of flux in the industry right now. There's some weirdness going on in the craft brewing industry, but it's also exciting. You know. Yeah.
In what sense? When you say weirdness?
I feel like the bubble continues to grow and grow and grow, but the consumer base is not growing along with it. Okay. So it seems like some breweries, when you look at the numbers that the BA posts at the end of the year, there are breweries that are showing negative. You know, they're actually shrinking. They're not growing. Right. Exactly. We have been growing. It's slower than we were growing in the past, of course, but still growing. So that's a good feeling.
So is it more just because of competition?
I think it's competition, and it's people are moving a lot to. People want something that's very, very local. They don't want something in the same state. They don't want something in the same town. They want something down the street. Right. So you see a lot of these very, very small, for lack of a better term, like mom and pop breweries showing up in strip malls and old buildings and whatnot. Yeah. So there's just a lot more. The supply has gone way, way up, and the demand hasn't necessarily grown with that. But that's great because that pushes us to be more innovative. It pushes us to, branch out maybe into styles that we wouldn't have looked at necessarily in the past.
That's fine.
You can go in.
Bringing us something good?
A style that we maybe hadn't looked at before.
There we go.
Okay.
If you want to segue into that.
So this is...
Sippin' pretty.
Okay, I didn't know if we were saying. I didn't know if we were saying that yet or not.
Still because 6-7 weeks for this to come out. So by the time people see it, should be good. Should be safe.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So this is a fruited goza.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's got some tartness to it. It's got some nice kind of saltiness to it, and I love that combination. The combination of like acid and saltiness in a goza. It's like you take a drink. And it's refreshing. You get that big bright hit of acid to it, and then you get that saltiness sort of on the end of it. And it's like, wow, it's a little bit salty. I want another drink. So you just
keeps you coming back.
Yeah, absolutely, and
it's a vicious cycle.
It's low enough alcohol that you can do that.
What's this one? Probably like
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, this will clock in below 5%.
Nice. Okay. Well,
cheers.
Cheers.
Finger guns, right?
Oh, give me 1 second. That's what's gonna happen. Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll preview in GABF.
Oh, nice.
Batch of it.
What's the Bam. What's the fruit in this one? Is it raspberry?
No. So in here, there's actually a couple of different fruits. We've got in here acai and guava.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's got
guava. I'm totally
you get that real like tropical character to it. We did a goza as a seasonal a while back called Brombeer that was a blackberry sour. Mm-hmm. And Brombeer was one of those like it was a great beer. Don't get me wrong, I loved it, but making it was very, very difficult. Okay. We would brew it into get a little technical here. We'd brew it into a 400-barrel fermenter. Okay. So we would essentially brew 3 135-barrel brews to fill up one fermenter.
Right. No, I get it.
And with the kettle souring aspect of this, letting the bacteria do its work to make the wort sour before we boil it, the weight on that was just killing us. Right. But we've dialed in that process a little bit better now. When we were making Brombeer, to do those 3 turns to fill up a 400-barrel fermenter would take us sometimes 48 hours. And I mean, that's just essentially just idle time at that point.
Now the beer's getting older and older.
Yeah, and it just hurts. I mean, you got a brewer basically. He's got to be here to take samples and look at the pH, see what the acidity is, etc. but really just sitting here most of the time.
Yeah,
you know,
like beer is waiting most of the
Yeah,
time.
that's not efficient.
No.
But we've got the process dialed in a little bit better now, so we can make this as a production beer now. And actually, Sippin' Pretty, when it comes out, will be a year-round release. It's going to be always available.
And this is the first time, just to clarify, this for GABF, which starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it'll be released in GABF as well here at the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
You're tasting it pretty much before anyone else,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah, that's
Exclusivity.
Right. You want some? Can't have none.
My wife,
fantastic,
is not a huge beer drinker.
It's unfortunate.
It is. You know, here's the thing: when I met her, she didn't like coffee, beer, chocolate, didn't like red wine. So we figured out that it's bitter that she doesn't like.
Oh, that's the common thing. Okay.
Yeah, totally. So you get the tannins in the red wine. You know, chocolate has that bitter character to it if it's not a real like sweet milk chocolate. Beer is always going to have that little bitter component to it. I forget what the fourth one was. Regardless,
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
Good luck. You can't fix that.
She loves coffee now. When we make a pot of coffee, I don't really get any of it because she drinks the majority of it. Yeah, totally.
I love that.
She's come around a little bit on chocolate. Loves wine now. Beer is still the thing that we're kind of
working on,
quote unquote working on. We're not working very hard on.
No.
But sours, you know, this style like a Goza or like a Berliner Weiss, something like that, she will absolutely drink. So in terms of like what is in our fridge normally, as far as beer goes, it's always going to be something like this.
Right.
So the fact that we are branching out and we're going to make a beer like this year round, you know, that's we can crack beers together now. That's great. Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, totally.
That's really cool. I mean, I'm assuming you probably also, because I've heard this a lot, and a lot of people who aren't into the bitterness tend to gravitate towards the fruited beers or the sours. And
Definitely.
Also, I've found, I don't know if you would agree, but like New England IPAs that are like, you know, all late editions or just fermented, dry hopped.
When Cloudcatcher, which we'll talk about in a few minutes here, I'm sure.
Yes, we will.
When we started making Cloudcatcher, we made like some test batches on the pilot system before we scaled it up to actually be Cloudcatcher on the big system. I would take home some crowlers, you know, of those test batches. And I always say, hey, you know, do you want to try this? And I pour a little bit for her, and she kind of makes a face and then tries it. And like the highest compliment you can get from her at this point is, "Wow, that's not terrible." so
you got the not terrible.
You heard it here. Cloudcatcher is not terrible. Not terrible.
Okay, you can have that marketing. You can have that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so she liked the milkshake IPAs then because
there's that sweet component. The sweet balance is what bitterness there is. You know, that's that game of balance is something that we really get into here at Odell. We want everything to be as balanced as possible. We don't want to take anything too far in any one direction.
Right.
That's one of the things that I think made our IPA very popular from the beginning was its balance.
Right.
A lot of IPAs, you know, it was just like club you over the head with bitterness. It was like, how many IBUs can we put into this beer? And it was like, you're not a manly beer drinker if you don't like it as bitter as possible.
I'm glad that those days are over.
Me too. And I mean, those beers are still out there. And
I feel like so few and far between now. I haven't had a hot punch or whatever you want to call it for a long time.
It's like chewing on hop cones. It's not.
Yeah, I just don't think they really. I don't know, maybe I'm not looking hard enough, but I just feel like breweries aren't making them. Or people aren't talking about them.
Yeah, that might be. I think that the popularity has kind of waned on beers of that style. So you're seeing a lot more balance now, especially when you start talking about the New England or the milkshake style.
Yeah.
You've got that sweetness there to offset any bitterness that there is. But like you said, with those very, very late hop additions, you don't get that isomerization. You don't really get that much bitter character to begin with. I for one am happy to see that trend sort of taking over the IPA market. I know that the milkshakes and the New England style IPAs are very, very polarizing. You know, people either tend to love them or hate them.
Oh yeah. What do you feel? How do you feel?
I like a lot of them.
Okay.
I feel like there are some subpar ones out there.
Agreed.
But that's going to be the case with any style of beer that you want. There's good ones and there's bad ones.
Yeah.
You know, there's, if you want to talk about cars or paintings or, you know, whatever you want to talk about, there's good ones and there's bad ones.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I particularly the New Englands I like. I don't necessarily always want like the weight and like the mouth coating aspect of the lactose that's in the milkshake IPAs.
Okay,
it's great at times. I mean, Cloudcatcher I've been definitely drinking since it came out. But yeah, I do like them a little bit on the leaner side personally.
When you mean like less lactose or
less sweet. Yeah.
Less sweet. less like thick and viscous mouth.
Exactly.
So we have I have like a running joke with a bunch of our fellow beer media kind of like friends, and we like team lactose or team no lactose. And it's not really for real because we all like kind of cool, some do and don't like it, but like, I'm team lactose and we just have to aggressively push that publicly. So I always like to be asking, since that sort of started, I like to ask, do you have which team would you be on? I'm not gonna be mad either way.
Yeah, no, I would probably,
it's a safe space,
overall be on team no lactose.
Okay.
But I'm not anti-lactose. You know, it's not.
So it's a bit okay.
It's not American politics where it's like you are, if you are
it's
this,
like blue or red.
Yeah, exactly. You either with us or you're our enemy. That's
so
not the way it is.
Maybe we need an alternative middle ground team where it's sort of like
On the fence.
like a team fence lactose or something.
Yeah, team fence straddler.
Yeah, that could work. I really like to push people either side, but maybe I'm gonna have to.
You're part of the problem, my friend. You're part of the problem.
Let's go for the episode. Part of the problem. I love it. I'm looking at the time now. You've got 12 minutes, so you have to brew.
12 minutes.
So I've got 3 questions left.
Let's do it.
And
we
have
got
to do this
too.
one as well.
Let's
go. Favorite hop?
Favorite hop?
Favorite hop.
That's a good question. Probably Citra. You know, I mean, just
Classic.
in terms of like what's going on these days and the styles of beer that are being made and that we are making. I think Citra is probably
the one.
Yeah, the one for me.
Fantastic. And what's your family think of your job?
They're into it. I mean, I think my parents are proud of me. You send me into like an existential place here.
That was the plan.
Yeah, my brother John is a huge beer nerd. So
he must be happy he can.
Yeah, I think he's pretty psyched that I work here. He lived in San Francisco for a long time, and I would send him Odell shirts, and he would always say like, "Oh, I get comments on my Odell shirts all the time," because we're not in California.
So like,
he's like, yeah, oh, he's in the know. But I think my extended family, I'm not so sure. But my immediate family,
they're into it.
They're fine with it.
And the last one, what's your favorite adjunct? Lactose.
Lactose.
Hashtag team lactose all day.
My favorite adjunct, man, it would depend heavily on the style of beer. I think oak probably. If I can twist the adjunct term, I would say oak is probably my favorite.
Well done.
That's in the classic terms. I don't think that would be considered an adjunct, but
in this podcast, it certainly is.
In Bosley's brain, it's an adjunct.
I like that. I like that also that when Kristen referred to you as Bosley, I was like, "That's a cool name." I'm like, "Oh, it's your last name."
Yeah, it's my last name. Yeah,
but I like that.
So everyone calls me that.
Yeah, I like it. It's very British.
It's on Instagram. I'm not plugging myself here at all.
You should. Follow.
I got into Instagram very, very early, so my handle is just @Bosley.
Nice.
And I get so many people like wanting to buy it from me. And there's the main reason is there's this YouTuber who apparently has a pug named Bosley.
Okay.
So like it's all these 12-year-old kids who love this YouTuber who are like, dude, can I have your name? Like, no, absolutely not.
No. Block.
Yeah, right. But also I get tagged all the time and people trying to tag the Bosley Hair Company.
Okay.
Because there's like a hair replacement company here in the States. I don't know if you guys know about it in Canada.
No.
Yeah, Bosley
like
Medical.
The hair plugs and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So people are always like, "Oh, Bosley, you need to help this guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I can help that guy."
Unless he wants an IPA, a very well-rounded, balanced IPA.
I'm not certified in any way, shape, or form to help this guy, but I can try.
Send him over. That's amazing. Let's talk about this last beer, and then we'll send you off to brew. So this is
this is Jolly Russian. So this is a rum barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout.
Nice. What's it sitting at? 13? Great.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big boy.
It's not even noon. All right. We're going to take the photo.
Hey, yeah, let's do it.
We'll take the photo before we even do it, just to switch it up. Look at that. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers to you. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been. Thank you.
Woof. Yeah, it's a big one.
That's a big boy.
Yeah,
I'm glad we didn't open that bottle.
Lots of boozy character in there from the rum barrels.
Very clean, very creamy.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of residual sugar in there, but you don't necessarily get the full aspect, or you don't bear the full brunt of that sweetness. Partly because of the sort of bitter, roasty character that comes from those malts balancing it. balance is an amazing thing. The way that you can add something to something else and take that taste out of it. Like, I just recently stopped trying to stop drinking soda because there's a new figure that they put on the like nutrition information now that tells you your like percent of the daily amount of sugar that's in there.
Right.
And like it used to just tell you how many grams were in there, but now it tells you like a percent daily value of it. I think that's a new law in the States that you have to do that. So
that's throwing you off a bit. You're like, this is 75%.
A 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola is like 135% of your daily sugar. And I used to like slam one of those down like it was nothing, like no big deal. But
now you're like,
but man, it was like, I forget what it was, like 65 grams of sugar. That's like over 2 ounces of sugar in a bottle of soda.
So
and
gross.
You don't notice it because they put so much acid in there to balance that sweetness.
Yeah.
So I totally derailed myself there, and I apologize.
No,
but
that's
yeah,
fine.
the amount of residual sugar that's in this, you don't really get that because of those other aspects that are in there.
Right. This is fantastic. It's a great beer. Kevin, mate, thank you so much for hanging out today.
Thank you so much. It was
really
my pleasure.
appreciate it.
This was a good conversation.
It really was. So people can follow you at Bosley.
At Bosley.
Make sure you check him
Follow
out.
me.
Where can they find Odell online?
At Odell Brewing.
At Odell Brewing.
Yeah.
OdellBrewing.com.
OdellBrewing.com.
OdellBrewing.com, at Odell Brewing. That's both Twitter and Instagram, I believe. Yeah.
Probably Facebook as well.
Come see us.
Handle consistency is very key. Of course, marketing does not mess around. Now, this is where you could probably assist me. So, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. If you enjoyed the episode, mate, smash the thumbs up.
Just like this?
Just like that. Hit subscribe. Where is it?
Yeah, it's down here. Also, down below that a little further is where the comments are. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
I think I have a future in this.
You're really good. And you can hit the notification bell. Are you familiar with the notification bell?
Wow. Was that it? Did I hear it?
No. Yeah. I think you heard it. You should make people say, dude, you're very good. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast and check out the long form audio so you can hear very attractive gentlemen like Uncle Kevin right here talk about beer and other stuff, I guess.
I don't know about referring to Uncle Kevin as being attractive. I don't know if that's
that's the point. It's supposed to be weird. You like the weirdness?
I'm weird. Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
I thought you would. Check us out Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that. That is it, guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks so much.